Looks like it is. All right, guys, I'm just going to get straight into it. This is more of an impromptu video. I really just wanted to get on and actually, let's do that, have a chat about something that I've been thinking about, for a while on doing a video on. And then a gentleman named Charlie Morgan, who has an agency called Imperium Agency, brought it front of mind again. I watched the video this morning. I like to use my mornings and afternoons to watch, business and marketing videos. So, that's like we all do, I suppose. But he brought up a really, really good point. He had a really good video this morning that I watched, which was about, just one sec. What's going on here? Just 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Yeah, the video was about his predictions for the best niches going into 2021 from a marketing business standpoint. But it just brought something that, like I said, I've been thinking about it for a while, and that's a question I get asked all the time. And I may not get asked it directly, but when I do proposals for people and I talk to people about marketing, they always bring up this thing about taking their marketing to the next level. No one's really defined what that actually means, but my interpretation of that is like every business does some form of marketing. You kind of have to, whether it's going to networking events or, putting flyers in like letterboxes or something like that. Every business does some form of marketing, but I think when people say taking it to the next level, they're meaning like, a more concerted, consolidated effort to acquire leads or to achieve a goal using marketing and the processes involved with that. That's what I interpret that to mean. So, when I talk to a plumbing company and they're like, yep, Jimmy, I want to take our marketing to the next level. That's what that means to me. So hopefully I'm just trying to frame this video today. And a lot of businesses are genuinely, they'll look at a proposal, see big sticker shock and then go, it's not time. So I want to just talk about when I feel as someone that deals with a lot of businesses and does the marketing for a lot of businesses, when I think is the right time to take it to the next level. And it ties in nice and really well into us coming into 2022 and some of my thoughts on where the market's going to be in 2022 and why actually like right now and like into the new year is like one of the best times to take your marketing to the next level. And full transparency, this isn't an ad or anything like that. I'm not trying to sell anything here. This is just more my thoughts, and sometimes it's better to articulate your thoughts to an audience, and then if you have any questions you can ask them. They'll come up on the right hand side here, and then I can answer them as we go. All right, so the core of the topic: when is it the best time for a business to start taking their marketing to the next level? Well, there's it's a bit of a clickbaity title, but honestly there's no real right time to do it. There's no like line in the sand when a business gets X size, that's when they need to start doing a more concerted marketing effort. Obviously every business is different, but I always use this analogy, and then Charlie brought this up this morning. Imperium Agency, go to his YouTube channel if you get a chance. He's got some amazing videos over there, but I use his analogy which was about surfing and a wave. Now, some of you out there may not surf, so I'll just explain how it works. And again, I'm not the best surfer in the world, but I have surfed in the past. Basically, with surfing, you kind of want to be predicting when the wave's going to hit you and be on surfing down the wave, jumping onto your board as you're going down into the wave, and you want to be on the front of the wave. By the time the wave is like close enough if you don't predict where it's going to be, it's too close, you're going to go over the top of it, or you're going to paddle and you're just going to fall off the back of it. Marketing is very similar in the way it works. So marketing is all about being in front of the wave, and that's what it's designed really to do. Every industry is made up of trends. Positive, negative trends, doesn't matter, just trends. So you have, with us, everyone went to like online communications and tools. And I'll use myself as a really good example of this. So like a really good example of being in front of the trend, in front of the wave, so to speak, was when COVID first hit. Like I've explained this in a previous video, the story of how this agency came to fruition. But one of the things I did in March in 2019, God, it's been ages. Might be 2020 when COVID first started, and in Australia they were announcing JobKeeper. I basically the for that first like month when everyone was not sure what COVID was going to do, they hadn't announced JobKeeper yet. The government was scrambling to work out what. Basically, the whole internet went quiet. It went very quiet. Everyone stopped advertising. Everyone pulled their budgets from ads. All the marketing agencies pulled up and tightened up. I had nothing to lose. I had a few clients, and I was like, well, if I'm going to go down with the ship, that's what I'm going to do. So I basically jumped on and did video. I went, okay, well, what is everyone going to need at this point in time? Well, they're going to need a friendly piece of advice and some help. They're going to need I'm going to need some friendly advice and some help and a calm voice to help these businesses that haven't necessarily ever worked from home or used online tools, help them upskill quickly. So I said, well, instead of talking about marketing, why don't we talk about the nuts and bolts of taking a business online? Because there's going to be a lot of business owners that are scared, and that can be really good content. Sorry, my cat is just meowing in the office here. So I basically just jumped on here and started recording videos about the things I was doing to take our business online and be better at it, but also things business owners can do. So I went through how to make a Zoom video, like how to set up Zoom, how to take your emails online, how to move all your resources online, how clouds work, how to take certain business models online. And then really what I was actually doing, if you actually distill it down, was being in front of that wave. It was a concerted marketing effort. I was taking my marketing to the next level, and it was a concerted marketing effort. Maybe not under the guise of marketing. I didn't do it to generate leads, but I went, okay, well, this is a trend. And if I'm in front of this trend while there's no noise, then I'm going to be well positioned when everything goes back to normal. So that's basically what I did. And then as soon as they announced JobKeeper, I had 11 inquiries that day, because a lot of people had been watching the content and been consuming it, and they were just waiting for a trigger to start buying again. And the JobKeeper was that. So, it's a good example of being in front of the wave. The wave was the uncertainty that COVID caused. And while everyone was like going, oh, I'm not going to get on this wave and surf, it's too big, it's too scary. I basically just made videos and paddled hard and got on my board and just slid down the front of the wave. And then everyone had to catch up from the momentum I carried into that period. Business is no different. So there's a lot of uncertainty coming into 2022. I literally read it this morning. You got one newspaper saying that it's doom and gloom coming into 2022, and then you got another one saying that it's 2023 or it's going to be later. But ultimately, the current market velocity and the current velocity of the money we have floating around in circulation, and just the craziness at the moment, it's, to me, and again, this is just a subjective opinion, it doesn't feel like it's sustainable long term. So at some point, the party's going to end in regards to how much money and how good business has been at the moment. There's a lot of businesses out there that are making more than they ever have, and that's awesome. I wish it would stay like this forever, but we've got to be realistic. It's not going to be like this forever. And even myself, we are preparing for next year. We are very lucky that almost all of our leads come from word of mouth and referrals, and that can carry us a long way forever. But we are actually investing in our sales process to make sure that we are in front of that wave. If hypothetically the market drops in 2022 and it gets harder to find business, we are going to be prepared for it, because that's what you need to do. So, I think we can all agree that it's not going to stay like this forever. Whether the can gets kicked down the road for another year or 5 years is irrelevant. It's not going to stay like this forever. The housing market is not going to be as hot as it is forever. The service industries aren't going to be, the caravan parks aren't going to be as busy forever. So, it's just the party. We're kind of at like 10:30 at night at a big party, and we're all having a great time. But come 2 o'clock in the morning when they turn all the lights on, you just got a whole bunch of people that are drunk, that have been drinking the Kool-Aid, getting drunk with the lights on and being exposed. So we want to make sure as business owners, we're not on the back of that wave. We see the wave coming, which, to be fair, I think it's a freaking massive wave. So I am, where I would normally be like, oh, I'll just paddle as the wave, when the wave's real close. I'm starting to paddle now. I'm like, okay, well, if this is a big wave, I need to get some momentum up before this wave hits us and smashes. We either get smashed and dunked out, or we can get onto the wave and try and surf it. And that's what we're doing now. And one of the areas, from a marketing perspective, we've always done a pretty good job. We rank well in Google and things like that. We don't run any paid ads because we haven't need to, but we've got those facilities in place. But something that is not scalable and repeatable in this business is our sales process. So going into 2022, we're making a very, very concerted effort to make our outbound sales process way more robust and not as reliant on word of mouth. The word of mouth is nice, and I want that to continue forever because it's it's the best way to work and it's the single best way to get leads. But you also need to make sure that you're paddling hard enough to stay on the wave. So getting back to the question at hand, when is the best time to take your marketing to the next level? The best time to take your marketing to the next level is when the water's calm. Like right now, this is what I was saying right now. Right now, it's 10:30 at night at the party. Everyone's having a great time. Everyone's drinking the beers. The people are shouting each other beers. This is the best time to do it. You've got a lot of income that needs to be deployed somewhere. And you can scale up. You can use that to scale and grow, which is awesome. But what are you going to do to support that growth if the market turns? That's my question. Everyone puts all their emphasis and energy, and ourselves included. We've grown a lot in the last year, but now the rubber meets the road. It's like, okay, well, how are we going to support this growth if the wave hits us and we've got to be paddling in front of it? So, as a budget allocation, if you're spending, so let's say you have $1,000 and it needs to be deployed, I'd be spending 80% of it on growth and 20% on marketing to support that growth right now. So like it is the best time right now to start looking at marketing because you want it, you have the cash flow, you have it's 10:30 night, all the beers are flowing. It's a good time to do it because there's a lot of traffic coming into the site, so you're not going to be leaning on it to work straight away, because marketing is a long-term play. When it's done properly, it's something that's done over a long period of time, and it's done with a concerted effort. So the best case scenario as a marketer is you have a business that doesn't rely on the marketing right now but will need it in the future. That's like best case scenario from a marketer's perspective. So that's something that I would definitely be considering, is the fact that like there's a lot of free cash flow at the moment. Use some of that cash flow to grow some marketing channels that you can lean on if it gets quieter. And then ultimately you may never use it. You may never use these channels. They may, they may fizz out. You may just have these channels and it may be good forever. But, you need to survive the wave so you can get ready for the next one after it. So, some industries are more tolerant to this. The construction industry is very tolerant to this because it's a very ebb and flow, cyclical business. But some of us other businesses like mechanics and stuff like that, where it's kind of evergreen, they may not be used to real quiet shoulder periods. But if the market does retrace a lot, there's going to be a lot of businesses out there caught with their pants down. So I think it's a prudent insurance policy to invest at least a portion of your free cash flow at the moment into concerted marketing efforts that will carry you through a shoulder period and through a cyclical bad market. Put a bit of, this is a good time, using our wave analogy, this is a good time to get in the gym and do some shoulder workouts so that if you have to paddle onto the wave, you've got a little bit more power getting onto it. Because trust me when I say this, and I don't have huge amounts of a business experience, but I do read a lot. And trust me when I say that if you can survive the next wave that's coming, and if you can be on front of it, you may not surf down the wave like Kelly Slater, but if you at least can stay upright and stay on the wave, you'll be in such a fantastic position when the next cycle comes up and we have some clear skies and everyone's recovering from whatever's coming in the next year or two, if it comes. So I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be pragmatic, and I'm trying to be I think it's important to be prudent about this stuff. And, we could sit here and go, we don't have to do any outbound marketing because we get all our business, we support 10 of us with referrals. But what if that referral sequence, what if those referrals just dried up because there's just no one looking for work? Well, we're going to have to go and find it. And that's what I would ask you as a business. How are you set up from a marketing perspective and just from a process of everything? Marketing, just holistically, how are you set up if people don't just walk through the door? That's the big takeaway here is like, how are you set up as a business if people don't just walk through the door and hand you money? What is your plan? And if you have a plan, more power to you. I think you are in the very, very small amount of businesses that do. But I would say the majority of the businesses don't actually have a plan for when people don't just walk through the door. And that's scary to think because that affects us, that affects the whole market. You know, enough of these businesses start struggling. And it's really difficult as a marketer to have a business come to you when they are desperate. Because if they're desperate, it fundamentally changes the strategy from a long-term sustainable growth strategy to just get feet through the door and spending a lot of money to do it because business needs to stay open. So I think you can look at marketing costs as a big expense, big upfront expense, but ultimately, if you spread it over the lifetime viability of a decent marketing plan, it's actually a very, very cost-effective way to mitigate a lot of risk because a lot of business owners will have insurance. I have insurance. Everyone we work with has insurance. So you have insurance to that. What are you insuring against? What insurance do you have against people not walking through the door? I can't answer that question. The only tool I know to do that is marketing, and sales and marketing basically. Because without those two things, unless people are just naturally walking through the door, there's nothing else going to drive that traffic, drive those people through the door. So just think about that. I'm going to finish this up here. I might cut this part of it out, laser clip, because I think it's really important to think about right now. And there's a lot of business owners that I feel like are going to get caught with their pants down because they're like, oh, we don't, I have had it in the last 2 weeks. I've had 4 people turn around to me and say, oh, we don't need to do marketing right now because we've got plenty of work. And when I explain it, it's not about doing it right now. It's not about generating inquiries right now. It's about generating inquiries in a year. If it gets quiet, you need someone to carry you through that. But it's easy to forget that you're in a forest when you're only looking at the trees around you. Same with the wave. It's easy to forget about the wave when you're there, when it's a tiny speck on the horizon. But when that wave's 12 foot and it's like 6 meters away from you, you can't start paddling now. You've got to be like one eye on it and ready to paddle as soon as it's time to paddle. So at the end of the day, I have 9 people that rely on us, or 8 people that rely on us, Paulie and I, to make sure that their bills are paid, make sure they have a decent quality of life. I take that responsibility very seriously, and it's part of my job. It's like my only job is to make sure that if the people don't just walk through the door, how can I get them? What am I going to do to get these people? I'm going to finish this up here. I just wanted to get this one off my chest because I think it's a topic that really needs to be covered a lot more. There's a lot of new businesses that are started up that maybe don't have an appreciation or haven't been through a bad time or had a retracement in their business, and they've been on a growth phase at the moment, which we all have. But what are you going to do to support that growth? And what are you going to do? What are you planning to do when if people don't just walk through the door? Just some food for thought. All right, guys, thanks so much. If you have any questions after this, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, let me know too, because I can do it. I'll do a few more videos on my thoughts and projections going into this and what we're doing as a business to mitigate these, because ultimately, even though we're a marketing company, we're still a business, and a business needs to have these things in place. All right, guys, thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.